Hello guys. Um, I'm making this video to respond to this hashtag cut for Bieber situation that's going on right now where uh people are apparently cutting themselves because Justin Bieber because pictures were found showing that Justin Bieber smokes weed. No, that is like that's the most insane um uh it's hard to put into words how irrational that is. Like whenever like I have a tendency to, or at least try to lay out situations to where like I try to see what the most rational course of action is given what you're trying to do, um, and even figuring out whether what you're trying to do is rational and that kind of thing. And this just I can't. It doesn't make any sense on all levels. Like none of this makes any sense. And it's so overreactionary. It's so like irrational and just hyperbolic that it's just there's no way that this like when I first heard about this, I was like there's no way the Justin Bieber fan base is this crazed. I was like there's no way they started this trend and this was actually like a big thing within the believer fan. I was like, there's no way they're not that crazy. Like, oh, hold on a second. Like no, I, I I don't believe that. I don't. They're not like humanity has not gotten that bad, not yet. There's no way that they just started it. It was actually started by a 4chan troll, so that's um good to hear at least that this wasn't started by the fan base. Um, but even the fact that the fact that anyone did this is just very disturbing and bizarre. Um, and I'm actually going to respond to um an opinion by Jocelyn Glenn, or if it's Jacqueline, I'm not sure. I might be getting that wrong. I apologize, but um, who says that we shouldn't be blaming the trolls because they were just I don't know trolling, I guess, and the girls are the ones that started cutting themselves. But I actually disagree. I mean, it like if the trolls, which I don't know, I heard that the trolls did this and were like, "Hey, let's see if we can get some of these believers to start cutting themselves." If those were their intentions to get people to start cutting themselves, then that's malicious and they're at fault for that. That's not something you can just be like, oh, they didn't do anything. No, they did. They actually attempted to do this and they succeeded. This was their intention to have this happen, and it did, and they did it. That's you know, so they're not completely devoid of any blame. This is what they wanted, according to you know. I don't even remember where I got that. I think it was maybe one of the news sources or something where they like took a tag from a post on 4chan or something. It was like, hey, let's see if we can get some little girls to start cutting themselves. But I mean, sorry, but um, this is just this is something else, and I am all for like um, taking cutting and the issue of people self-harming, depression, and I'm all for taking that seriously because it is a serious issue. Um, I don't I typically don't find jokes regarding self-harm and people not taking self-harm seriously. I typically don't find that funny because, especially when you're putting them down, because it is a serious issue that is not funny. It's not something to joke about. Like, excuse me, it's something that people really go through on a daily basis and that have trouble stopping. They wish they could stop, but they just can't because it's like an addiction for them. So that's not funny. It's like me joking about someone who's an alcoholic and is trying to quit. That's not funny. That's a serious life issue. You know, people are like, oh, they're attention seeking. Like, why would um someone? What kind of attention that doesn't bring positive attention? Like, why would you do that? Why would you harm yourself so people can think that you're a self harmer? And first of all, there's a huge negative stigma that comes with being a self harmer and with being depressed. It's not something that's positive. Why would anyone do that? Like, I don't know. It doesn't. It really doesn't make any sense to me. But regardless, I treat that very seriously. Same with depression. Same with really all mental illnesses. I think mental illness, the stigma attached to mental illness needs to disappear because it's not good. It's not good. It's not healthy. It's again just another trait of society that reflects poorly on us as a species and as a culture. Um, so I do take that seriously. What I find admittingly hilarious about this is that this doesn't make any sense. I'm almost to the point where I don't believe it, where I don't believe that girls actually did this to themselves because of a few trolls told them to. you know, like this, it's like another level of demented where you just like so infatuated with someone you don't know because they started smoking weed, something as harmless as smoking weed, and they're like, I have to cut myself to get their attention so that they could finally stop smoking weed. What? Like, I don't, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. I'm thinking if anyone did this, it was maybe one or two lone people that did it. It was not, it was not more than three or four. It couldn't have been. There's no way people were I'm so sorry. There's no way people really went along with this. Were like, yeah, like, no, like cut for Bieber. Like, there's no way. I don't believe it. In all honesty, I don't believe it. I think there's a very good chance that all the pictures and all the posts that people keep putting up because they're all the same posts are trolls. And that they're all trolls and everyone's being trolled. We're all being trolled into thinking this. But it's this is something else. If I it, I mean it's I mean really if you're thinking about the girls and saying, "Hey, don't laugh at the girls." I'm not well, I guess I kind of am laughing at them. I'm laughing at the fact that this is happening. Like someone's really doing this? Someone's cutting themselves because Justin Bieber's smoking weed? Like, I mean, I think it's more, um, it's just, it's more, I guess, just sad in the fact that you really care about this guy this much, and you really think that cutting that cutting yourself is going to help the situation. Like, I, I don't know. I can't, I can't, I can never wrap my head around pop star infatuation or celebrity infatuation in general, or paying attention to celebrities in general. I don't understand it. Um, I don't get it. I wouldn't go so far as to say it's negative or something we should dislike, but I don't understand it. I don't know this person. Why do I care about their life? I mean, if there's something about them that I like, then there's something about them that I like. It's not like if they start smoking weed, I'm gonna start crying and start slitting my wrist. I don't see how you can care about someone that you don't know that much. And this isn't uncommon within these fan bases. It's you know well, cutting yourself is uncommon for within, or I would hope so. I'm not completely sure, but I wouldn't think so with the contact that I've had. But this kind of dedication to the pop star who um you know uh is in this for money um and fame. Let's keep it real. uh is Well, mostly for money and fame. I mean, why else would you do it, really? uh but anyway, they're mostly in it for money and fame, and you're just so dedicated to this person that you would do these kinds of things. It's really, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. It's not good for anyone. um there's nothing wrong with being a fan of someone. um but when you're so infatuated to where you're following their every move and cyber stalking them, essentially, that's not healthy. And I'm afraid to say that's very common among these fan bases. And you know it makes me afraid that things like this might happen. Well, not, maybe not this specifically. This specific situation is ridiculous, but where people would start taking it to the extreme and start really hurting themselves or other people because they don't like something that happened within this pop star's life, who they don't know in any way. It's And they're just so obsessed with this image that they've created, and it's just not good. It's not good at all. But back to this cut for Bieber stuff. This is, I can't. I had a really good laugh at this, because at first I didn't believe. I was like, what? At first I heard about Justin Bieber smoking weed, and I was like, wow. Um, I'm surprised, but it shouldn't be. That was my initial reaction to that. Um, but when I heard about fans cutting themselves to get him to stop, I was like, huh? What? And his sources backing it up. Pictures. I'm just, no, no, come on, really? They're cutting themselves to get him to stop? I was about to just be like, I can't deal with people anymore, because we're obviously not getting any smarter. Just clearly, if we're cutting ourselves because celebrities are smoking weed, there's that's not, like, what hope is there if you're cutting yourself because a celebrity is smoking weed? What hope is there? You need to be like reprogrammed, practically, if that's your train of thought at this point. Where if someone, a celebrity that you like or whose music you enjoy and who you find attractive is smoking weed, that you have to harm yourself to try to influence them to stop. That's not that's horrible. That's awful. You know how harmless weed is? Why would you ever do that? Why would you do that for anyone in any situation? That's pure. That's wholly unhealthy. Just completely. And that's, oh my god. Ugh. All right. I don't know, man. This cut for Bieber stuff. I still blame the trolls, because as far as I'm concerned, I'm operating under the assumption that they intended for this to happen. Um, in which case they are at fault, because they wanted this to happen, and this was their goal, and they achieved it, and that's horrible. Um, Not to say that the cutters are devoid of any and all responsibility. I'm not trying to say that. They have to be smarter, obviously, but when you go out of your way to push someone's buttons and try to get them to do something this dangerous, that's horrible. That's a horrible thing to do. and you can't just let that go. So I guess that's basically why I blame the trolls in this situation. And I usually don't comment on these issues, these pop celebrity stuff, because I don't really follow it. Um, but I do follow YouTube and what happens on YouTube typically within certain communities and on some social networking sites. And this just blew my mind. I was like, it's one of the most ridiculous things I've heard. It's up there with a few others. Like there was that one story about the boy who died from masturbating because he masturbated so much that he died. That he just died. I didn't believe that one. It turned out to be no reliable sources for that. So I'm just like, okay, that's probably not real. But it's on that same level of just sorry. It's on that same level of just being unbelievable. Where you just no, this can't be real. This can't be real. No one would do this. No one would really do this. Really just hurt themselves. Uh, I don't know. Uh, all right, I guess that's it. Um, I had to make a video. I had to make a video on this because this is too much. It tickled me too much. I just you know it confused me too much. The logic behind it, I just couldn't. It just it's so backwards. I had to say something about it. Um, and uh, I also had to just get some thoughts out of on who I thought was to blame and why, and some other things connected to this, like pop culture and whatever. But I guess that's it. I wanted to make a video um, about something that happened recently within my family, but uh, I kind of got sidetracked and I didn't get to. I might make it another time, and it's kind of serious. Uh, but I might make it another time. But for now, I guess that's it. Um, and I'll see you later. Don't cut for Bieber. He's not that important. He's not worth it.